Okay, I'm going to try to be really quick about this and show you how you can use SketchUp to mock up the top before you make your plans, just to estimate how things are going to fit together and give yourself some ideas of some design. But it's going to show you the techniques, I hope. I'm going to start with SketchUp in the top view. I can choose those views very quickly from here, and if you don't have that set up yet, make sure you go to View Toolbars and set up your views. And while you're there, also go to Camera and turn off Perspective. That's going to make things look a little bit cleaner and less messy. I'm going to use the circle tool, and from the top I'm going to center at the origin and drag out. This particular project I'll make 3.5 inches in diameter. That's 1.75 in radius, and then I'll zoom extents so I can zero in on it. Having done that, I'm going to pull the thing up in 3 dimensions and give it some thickness. With the push-pull, I'll make it 3/4 of an inch. And now I'm going to pull the axis, or axle, down the middle of it. And the axle is going to be made out of a 3/8 inch dowel. So to find that center point, I'm going to hover over the edge of the circle, of that surface, find the center, pull out, and type in the radius again. The radius of a 3/8 inch dowel is 3/16. I'm going to illustrate that problem with finding the center. If you don't hover over the outside edge first, you have a hard time finding that. I've found the origin, but to find the center, hover over the outside edge, and then you can find the center really easily. In this case, it happens to be the origin. I'm going to use, again, 3/16 of an inch, and it's given me exactly what I want. Now, the handle is going to go on here too, and this part of the dowel has to extend beyond the handle. The handle is going to be 2 inches tall, so I'll pull this up to 0.5 inches, so I know I have enough material to extend beyond the handle's height. And on the bottom part, I'm going to extend it down. I'm going to go with 0.5 inches, and then I'm going to put a point to it. And here's how I'm going to put the point there. I'm going to roll this thing till I get a good angle on it. Zero in on the center of this thing again. And I'm going to use the pencil tool. To get to the center, I hover over the outside edge, find the center, and I'm going to drag a line up by whatever height I want. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch height. Then I'm going to go to an outside edge, and then I'm going to go back to the center. And it gives me a surface because it's all on the same plane. And this next trick is a really good one. I'm going to select the outside edge of this thing and use the Follow Me tool. Having pre-selected the edge, when you use Follow Me, the edge goes away for a sec, don't freak out. Just click the surface, and blam, you get the point that you want on this thing. If that went too fast for you, just rewind and watch it again. Now I'm going to view this thing from the front, and I'm going to draw the handle. The dimensions of the handle I know will work really well if it's about 6 by 2, so I'm going to make this thing about 6 inches long, comma, 2 inches tall. There's the precise size. I'm going to draw a few guidelines to make the next part easy. I'll draw a guideline at 1 inch. I'm going to drag another guideline down at 0.5. I'm going to drag a line out here at about 2. Another one at about 1 inch. And this may not be really obvious why I'm doing all of these things, but it'll become pretty obvious once we start sketching some lines on. So now, here's where the lines go. I'm going to draw the handle from here to, say, here. That'll be carved away over there. And for the launcher part of the handle, I'm going to use an arc tool. And arc tools work really well, especially when you tangent to the edges, because they make for perfect circles. Whoops, I'm going to undo that one.
Just a reminder that gotcha pins will be distributed to your homeroom class tomorrow before lunch. Please be in class to receive your gotcha pin.
I guess tangent at vertex is okay. Intersection, tangent at vertex. And now we can start carving some stuff away, but I'm actually going to put one more curve here, just for aesthetics, and then start erasing away the stuff we don't want. Undo. Missed. Went too far. And try to be quick. It's the end of school. And you get the idea. So it's been drawn in 2 dimensions, and that's how easy it is to draw in 2 dimensions. When you're doing your plans, do it that way. But when you want to make the model, pull it out in 3. So once again, the thickness of this stock is 3/4 of an inch, and we're good. Now, I missed a step along the way here. I really had meant to carve out the whole of this thing, and it's easy to do it in 2 dimensions first, and then just pull it out and it's easy. I missed that, so I'm going to see if I can do it here. If I take an endpoint, can I find? Ah, yes, there's the center of it again. And now I like to use SketchUp for this because I can eyeball what's going to work well to find the right size of hole to put into this thing, given those dimensions. So I want to leave enough material for a thick edge that's not going to break. And, you know, looking at this thing, Half inch, it looks a little bit too small. It's hard to feed the thread through. And I found, this one looks like 5/8 of an inch is going to make for pretty sturdy product. Any more than that, it's going to get a little bit fragile. Don't want to risk that. So I think that's going to do the job. And now I'll use push-pull and hopefully get it through to hollow this thing out, and we're in pretty good shape. View it from the front, zoom extents, erase guidelines that you don't need. You can erase those any old time. They're just temporary. And now I'd like to line these things up together to see how well it'll fit and function. And to do that, first I'm going to double click the top and right mouse click it to turn it into a group. Then I'm going to try to get this thing centered because it's not centered yet. Let's see if we can make that happen. Move tool, hovering over the top of the dowel and finding the center. Let's see if I can get it. Ideally, it would be nice if this thing was landing on the surface, but it's not quite. Oh, I got it on the face. That's the idea, is just keep working it until you get it on the face first. Then, once it's on the face, again, hover over the point. It's still selected. It's the thing that's going to move. Now I can grab that thing and slide it along till I find the midpoint of that particular edge. And now if I view it from the side, or roughly from the side again, you don't have to click on the object to move it. You can click anywhere. So I'm going to click off to the side and drag straight up in the blue direction. I don't want to go anywhere else. But if I go straight up and eyeball it, put it roughly into place to leave a little bit of a gap, ladies and gentlemen, we're just about there. At this point in time, we've got ourselves a nice 3D object that is a nice pre-visualization of what the thing's going to look like. And there's your ISO view that you can then take a graphic of and build into your plans. Meanwhile, to remember what all those dimensions were and put those into your 2D plans so that you can really make the plans right to scale based on this, start putting some dimensions in. You don't want to make your plans like this because it's not very good looking. But for instance, if I need to know how tall that dowel is, I know it's going to be 4 inches. If I need to know or remind myself how long this thing should be, trick here is finding that absolute point. I think it's right to the end point here. We got to find sort of that center. There it is. Looks like it's about there. Clicking it straight up there, we can see that's 6 inches. Right. Remind ourselves of how tall this thing was, 2 inches. And what was the dimension of that top again? Oh yeah, 3.5. Get the idea. Use nice round numbers. Make life easy on yourself, but do everything to scale. And now it's time to start putting together your 2D. Good luck.